What's up, Internet? Gonzo here, and today I am bringing you a Borderlands 2 first impression review thing. I'm not sure if it's a first impression, if it's a week and a half after the game came out, but I'm gonna do it anyway. For those of you that just want to watch the like 30 seconds of this video and get the basic gist of what I want to say, Gearbox done good. I like the game. Yeah, I broke up my review into two main sections of things I like versus things I dislike. And the first of the things I like is the characters. There's a lot more character development in this game, but there's still not enough in my opinion. They have all the side characters developed, and you like learn their relationships with each other, like Scooter and the new fat chick and Moxie and Marcus and all the other just main characters besides you, which is good, but I really want kind of like personal interactions with your character. Like, so if Maya and Lilith started talking, they'd be like, oh, siren stuff. I get my siren period on such and such. But they don't do that, which is kind of sad. But they do have really good character development and, like, people that piss you off. I don't know how to describe that otherwise, but there's definitely satisfying moments where you get to, like, kill someone or kind of just shoot someone or just kind of, I don't want to spoil anything by what I'm like saying, but you definitely get to kill people that you want to kill. And one of them is shooting McShootface or something like that, and you just shoot him in the face, and that's the entire quest, which is just hilarious. But there's a lot of, you feel bad for characters and you feel good for characters, but they definitely improved, but I still think they could have done more in my opinion. So we're going to move on to the guns, which is probably the next most important thing in this game. The gun manufacturers are definitely well defined in this game, where you could look at any gun and I could tell you the manufacturer just from the look of it and how it fires. So, like, for an example, Hyperion guns get more accurate as you fire them, and Doll guns generally fire in bursts. Milliwan or whatever is an elemental gun, and TDR explodes when you reload, or throws them like a grenade and they reload, which is actually really underwhelming when you're trying to use them as a gun, I find. I found most of my TDR weapons just to be complete trash and no reason to use them. But when you just use them as a grenade and you literally just like shoot 2 shots and then throw it, shoot 2 shots and throw it, they become really fun because it's basically just like a whole bunch of grenades that kill everything like one shot, or small enemies in one shot. Which is really fun, and I really like what they did with the guns in this game compared to what they did in the guns last game. Moving on to skills, they're kind of the same as Borderlands 1. There's a lot more, like, flavor. Like, there's a lot more differences. So you can actually spec into things that kind of are interesting rather than just being like, oh, SMG damage, oh, elemental damage, which is nice. And they also moved away from each class has a certain gun type they're supposed to use. Admittedly, the sniper still has, like, you get bonus damage with sniper if you hit a crit, but other than that, it's mostly kind of just all around the board guns that you can use and stuff like that. And they also have new skills that override the melee, the just basic melee, which is kind of cool because it just kind of changes the game just a little bit more and kind of makes it different, which is the most important part because this game gets stale after playing like 50 levels or so. And then you also can change the action skill slightly if you get high enough ranks and high enough stuff. I know Zero, who's the character I have the highest right now, once you get his like middle tree all the way maxed, you throw like little Naruto daggers everywhere, and those do elemental damage. And just it sounds kind of cool, honestly. I want to try it and respec into it just because it sounds different than melee or sniping. The enemies also are kind of the same style from Borderlands 1, but they definitely do improve on this. This whole game, probably the style of Borderlands 1, just slightly improved, honestly. But what's really, really nice about these is when you play the second playthrough, there's different types of enemies. So, for example, there's an armored maniac, the guys that run at you with the little like buzzsaw swords. There's actually like different versions of those. And then they also have lunatic marauders, which are basically just maniacs with guns. So sometimes they'll rush you and they're really fast moving, so they're hard to hit. Which is basically just, it keeps the game fresh, and I think that's the most important part of this game. Because if I really want to get 50 with all characters, I'm going to get so bored of this gosh darn game. And I want to get all characters to 50, because And I wish I had PC so I could just be like, type, level 50. I assume it kind of works how Skyrim works, but I don't know. The game is actually a lot brighter visually. The color scheme is more than just like 4 shades of brown hashed over and over and over, which is awesome because you can actually like look at things and you're like, wow, I'm interested in how this looks, or it's green instead of brown. Which basically the entire game, first game was brown. So yeah, much better in the color aspect. However, the story itself is a lot darker. It's kind of actually sad at points, and you feel bad for the characters, which I think is a great improvement, because the first game it was like, oh, well, there's this angel girl and she's talking to me, and yeah, I'm killing a vault for some reason that I'm really not sure about. Where this game is actually like, oh, this person got captured, this person needs rescuing, and a lot of just better stuff in general. And then the story, or well, sorry, and the humor actually is a lot better as well. I thought the humor might have been just like over the top, just kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean's 2 for me, where it was funny in the first one, and then the second one they just tried way too hard, and it just kind of awful. But it's actually a really great mix of just humor and kind of just humor, sadness, humor, and just made the story great. Moxie has a great sexual humor. I pee myself every time she talks to me or gives me a compliment. I swear, she's just that hot. Oh, Moxie. And then Claptrap is just, he rivals Wheatley on just like silly, stupid, funny stuff that you like feel bad for him, but you feel like you want to laugh at him, and just, oh, he's a great character. Probably second favorite to Tiny Tina, who is just the greatest character, and I don't even want to like spoil how great she is by talking about her. Just the badonkadonks for days. Badonkadonks. That's all I have to say about her. So now we're going to move into the things that I dislike about this game. And the first one is really nitpicky, and it's the gun's visual clip doesn't match the actual clip size, which just OCD. I have OCD about things like this. I don't know why. I like it when things match up, and ugh, pisses me off. Damn you, Gearbox. I also like, or I don't like, that Jacob's guns don't actually look like the Wild West anymore. I loved it when it was just like, damn, this shotgun looks like I could kill, well, I want to say Indians, but that's bad. But, like, honestly, Jacob's guns in the first game looked a lot better in my opinion, just because they looked like they were from the Wild West, and the revolvers in this game look cool, but really, I kind of miss the badass shotguns and the badass rifles that Jacobs had. And they have no unscoped sniper rifles like the elephant gun, which was just the funnest gun in Borderlands 1 to just crit damage for days. And you get most of the good guns from quests, which is just kind of not how I think the game should be. Like, honestly, I got my only orange weapon, well, I got a shield from a quest, and I haven't seen an orange gun since, which is just kind of sad. And I feel like the game should be, I kill things, I get loot from them, not I kill things for a purpose and get loot for them. I think it's a little different, and kind of wish they went back to how it was in Borderlands 1. There's still no endgame, which you could call Cromarax an endgame technically, where you just farm him to infinite orange and pearlescent guns, but really no endgame. There's a main Cromarax-like boss that occurs after you beat the main story that you can fight and just farm for days, but really not that much endgame stuff. I really hope that the DLCs change this a lot, just because I want to play this game for a lot longer than, well, I don't know, 2 months. The money in this game, kind of pointless. I rarely find myself buying anything that's other than ammo or just spending money on the vending machines. Not vending machines, the slot machines. The vending machines, you get like a purple shield every blue moon, which is really stupid because, I don't know, the Borderlands 1 vending machines seem to have actually like good items at time. I've probably bought a lot of just like deal of the day just to get the badass ranks, which is a cool improvement. There's nothing really to say about it. It's good. I like it better. But there's no, money is so pointless in this game, so I just go and spend it on the slot machines, and I just do it for hours, just sitting on my bed because I'm bored, which is terrible, but I do it. I like the golden key aspect of the game, but they don't do it in a way that I like. So you get a golden key from just having the game, basically. And then you get a golden key, oh, actually you don't. You get a golden key from pre-ordering the game, you get a golden key for registering for Shift, and you basically can just find codes sometimes on the Gearbox website. I find them through Reddit most of the time, where it's just like Borderlands 2 codes for the day or something like that. But I always get there just like an hour too late, so they're totally pointless. And I really think what they should have done with the golden keys is when you kill, say, the I forgot what it's called, but the Chromorax-like boss, or just maybe the end boss in general, sometimes you won't get good loot. That's part of the thing. You just get crappy loot sometimes. And I think they should kind of supplement the drop with a golden key, just so that you have a guaranteed good item. And honestly, if you're gonna farm, you might as well make it easier for us to farm, just because it's gonna happen anyway. And if we're really at the point where we're beating the end game stuff, shouldn't we just be the most godly character we could be? Because there's not much to do in the end game anyway. So that's really my point I'm trying to get across here. Golden keys are kind of pointless. And also, the golden keys, there's 4 more DLCs coming out, so that means there's 4 more level increases. So I don't want to use the golden keys on just like level 50 gear. I want to use it on level 69 gear. The only problem is I can't, and so it makes these keys just kind of like holy, and I don't want to spend them, and I'm so scared to go near the box because I might spend them. I actually also spent the first key, my first key, just randomly. It was like, oh, a chest, I'm going to open it, X. And they don't even prompt you like, you're using a gold key at level 4. What the fuck? They're just like, okay, yeah, here's a purple shield that you'll just kind of get rid of in 2 levels. But oh well, enough of that golden key rant. The builds, a lot of multiplayer builds, but I honestly wanted to play just a single player playthrough just because my friends can't match my pace, because I just last so long, both in bed and in this game. But just, there's a lot of multiplayer builds, and it's just like, the Siren's middle tree is totally useless if you like use it all the way, which I don't like. Because the Siren's really cool, and maybe the middle tree is really cool, but I just don't use it. The story needs more backstory, like I said. What Borderlands could have done better was how BioShock had just so much backstory. Like, I found myself at the beginning of BioShock just kind of picking up their quarters because they're everywhere. But then towards like the middle, my friend was like, you really should listen to them because they really kind of highlight things. And then they develop the characters so much better. Like, you get backstory, you get how the characters interacted, how like Andrew Ryan and how the other guy were fighting. I don't even remember BioShock 1, that's the problem. But I remember that there was just so much better like understanding of how the story was working. And I really want the character, how I said like I want the Sirens to interact. I really wish they like had your character talk more than like, I died, but I came back to life. And really stupid, corny stuff like that. Like, I actually want them to have conversations. Like, maybe the soldier, like, so Axton and Roland walk into a bar and they're just both like, damn, Moxie has titties for days. But no, they don't. So, that sucks, even though she does have titties for days. And that's actually, there is one echo recorder that gives you a backstory on Maya, and there may be more on the main characters, but they didn't really say anything. Or I couldn't find them, and they weren't just in plain sight, so I never actually bothered to find them. But I really just wish they had a lot more to this game. It's kind of, I know space is limited, and I know that like they have to get a certain amount of stuff on the game, but there's a couple things that I feel like they really kind of did wrong that were just kind of core aspects. And I don't think this game should just get a walk-off 10 for just being Borderlands 2. I think it should definitely get the scrutiny that it deserves, because Skyrim, everyone was like, oh, this game's so awesome, I love it, and then it was kind of shit in my opinion. It was Morrowind that wasn't as good, that had better graphics. Whoop de frickin' do. But anyway, rate, comment, subscribe, like, favorite, like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.